Granite Ridge Greens with frog songs. Listen to them. Too bad we didn't have telescoping sound, but I'm sure you can hear that. I'm going to tip it. You're going to look at the roof for a minute. Probably hearing the wind too. The whole pond is singing frog songs. Lots of tadpoles tonight over in that pond, singing and dancing all day. Not really, but that was a good song. Good saying in this day. Singing and dancing all day. And the sandhill cranes eat those frogs while they're mating. It's probably why they come back each year. Subsistence, sustainable food source. See how clear the water is right now? I want to get a couple of solar bubblers and try to keep it that way. Slow down the mosquitoes. Not that in this area you could really slow down the mosquitoes. They're everywhere. All the way around. Oh, there's a tower. Homemade coupler for the push-up pole. That's where the original triangle went, you know that? It's holding in the push-up pole in the middle of the tower. Looks like I screwed it through a couple of the stairs. Bolted it through 3 ways. I didn't remember that. See all the wood we got to chop back there? All the way around this property is all that wood, and that's stone too, pushed by the bulldozer. All my fields have been bulldozed. I'm not claiming them to be rock free. There's the chicken coop. See how it was zoomed in here? And right there is the opening to the back of the property from that road. That road goes all the way back, see? All the way back over there. Listen to them just singing. And tomorrow night it'll be even louder. All the mating going on. That's all the way around. That's our other property that drops down in there. 101 acres of virgin forest, they say. I don't know, maybe we'll get there this year before the bugs. I went for a ride with Tin Camp with Ryan. Man, is it mucky in the back of their property back there. I'm glad I'm at the front and not the back. Not my cup of tea. There's the trailer lights on. We'll get to that eventually. Look at how shaky I am. That's zoomed right in though. That was my left arm. Bad shoulder. This is coming down. And I'm going to put a spin-up pole or a push-up pole to lock into the bottom in a bracket and a bolt welded there when I get a better welder. My little MIG welder's just not made for the job that I'm trying to do with it. And we go back all the way around. Right back there. That's where the sandhill cranes are mating, I believe. I find them out there all the time, right at the back. If I drive to the back in the car when we come in, or I come back from getting something. And around we go. And back to the singing pond. Gotta love frog songs. Reminds me of Island Grove when we grew up as little kids. Me and Fleming, my brother, Doug, David Fleming, all of us playing in the swamps and little rivers and tributaries and down Woodbine under the sewer grate, that the runoff water, catching the suckers and selling it to the Portuguese family when they come up on the weekend. $2 a fish. That was good money back then, people. Go down with a nail in an old hockey stick, bent it up, and you whacked them in the side of the head, and you picked them up and throw them over your head, and you end up with sturgeon eggs all over you. Sucker eggs everywhere. Then you go home and get shit from your mom because you're covered in fish eggs and smell like a rotten old fish. But you had a pocket full of money, and you probably had a stomach ache from the candy you went and got from the corner store that you weren't supposed to be eating between dinner time and lunchtime and that. Listen to her. I couldn't even guess how many frogs. I'd say that's in the thousands, or at least 1,000. Listen to them sing. And she's raining pretty good too, or it has been. See if we get an answer from Mr. Gary in there. Mr. Gary's growing fast. Apparently if he's jumping on her back, they're copulating. So I'll have to see. I'll have to crack that egg open, see if there was something growing in it. And we'll get the incubator and stuff. There's no hurry. We're still having -5 nights. That's Celsius. In the Celsius version of temperature, not the Fahrenheit. So that's below freezing. 0's freezing, and -5 is, of course, very cold. Getting colder. Listen to them sing. I wonder if my camera will sit here. Just listen to the frog song. I don't want it to fall down the roof. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't know about you, but I love the sound of this. Nature. Doing what nature does best without human intervention. I don't know if you caught that bird flying. Yeah, we did. We caught that bird flying in. They're bedding down in there. I got a moose down in there too. Down in the lower section. Right about here in these other side of these bushes here, there's a moose hanging around. Probably that female moose. That big cow. And of course the sandhill cranes are in there too. So if you just want to get yourself into nature and feel what it's like, you can listen to my frog song. I don't mind sharing. I think a lot of people are missing this in the city. All that nature has to offer, and sometimes we take it for granted. I don't take this for granted at all. This is beautiful. This is so serene. This is solitude up here. Don't knock my camera over, Mother Nature. We'll have a picture, the last picture of the camera bouncing to the ground. Sitting up on my windowsill here, beside my bed. I opened the window last night and I went to sleep to hearing frog songs. Yeah, it's just echoing. This is a really good echo chamber in here too. I heard them in the shop yesterday at about Probably 3:30, 4 o'clock. I think they started, maybe even earlier. Yeah, that much noise, that much calling. That's mating time. The mad mating in the Granite Ridge Greens pond. And that pond actually goes through the trees there. And apparently I own that corner from what the severance paper shows. So the chunk over to the left there, a clump of trees, and over into the neighbor's property, I own a chunk in there too, I guess, the corner. Maybe I own that whole little lake, doesn't matter to me, I'd share it with them anyways. Neighbors are far enough here that they don't annoy each other. Everybody gets along. There's apparently somebody with 500 acres that's putting up wires here. If you're going to put up wires, don't forget to put flags and sign up that there's wires across the openings that people run their four-wheelers. If they've been using your property for years, they might not know that that wire's across that pathway. And Orchard Beach Golf Course in Keswick years ago when I think I was still a kid, person went ripping across the greens a couple years and did, you know, $10,000 a green back then. Did damage to them all, and I don't know if it was the custodians or the owners or who it was, had wires strung around the greens, and the fellow went zooming through the next year and was decapitated. And yes, the golf course was liable. It was sued for it, even though he was trespassing on private land and damaging it. His family was still paid retribution for him losing his life on the golf course. So you're liable for things that you do like that. You're not free to just dole out what you want to dole out. So you're gonna put up wires, put up signs, let people know. I got no trespassing and no hunting signs up. Sends a clear message. And I've locked the gate. And Granite Ridge Greens is back to the peaceful place it always was. And the only thing that takes away its peace is people that don't appreciate being here. I've had a few people here that just didn't appreciate being in the place that they were allowed to be in. And then it's time for them to move on and us to move on and get ready for spring. We'll be putting the plants in the next couple of days, starting to seed. Take the seeding mat from Lucky and Mr. Gary, because that's what's keeping their bums warm in that little coop. And the temperature should start staying up above plus 13, plus 15 and stuff. And yeah, hopefully we get some chicks out of Mr. Gary and Lucky, the escape artist chicken. That would be cool for a chicken that wasn't supposed to make it more than 3 months. May 11th, she's a 1-year-old. And I think Gary's coming up to about 6 months, I believe. I'll have to check with his surrogate mother and see what she says. So it's a long frog song. Unless you're like to immerse yourself in nature, it might not be your thing. You don't have to sit here and watch it, but I love hearing the frog songs. And if I was in the city sitting in a condo right now, I'd be sitting back, my favorite drink or my favorite joint or my favorite pipe or whatever you got, and sit back and enjoy what Granite Ridge Greens has to offer. Now, right now I'm offering up my pond in the wonderful noise of nature. I know last year it picked it up, so I'm hoping this year from this level we're up a floor. We're into the 2nd floor, so maybe we'll get some good frog song. And we'll just let this play out till it ends or runs out of battery. I think we get 23 minutes and something, almost 24 minutes, so we're at 15 minutes now. You might even hear the TV in the background, who knows? Very sensitive camera. I like this little camera. Bought it off my friend Don about 6 years ago. 5-6 years ago. It's been a good little camera. Takes awesome 1080p. Takes forever to upload it with ExploreNet, but that's what happens when you pay too much for limited service. Exactly 8:30 at night, April 25th, 2022. They say the ending of COVID, but who knows what they have planned. How much more they have planned to ruin the world's businesses, small businesses and stuff. Let the other people with all the money back in again and take over everything. Welcome to the planned COVID. Planned virus. Didn't change much up here. Really don't associate with that many people. Every time we try to help somebody out, they kind of end up kicking you in the nuts, so it makes you not want to get kicked in the nuts anymore by people. Some people are beyond help anyways. If you can't help yourself, I don't think anybody else can help you either. There's no helping someone that can't help themselves. Too many people live in a fantasy world. Oh, it's flashing. Why is that flashing? Are we running out of battery? Yep, we're running out of battery. Granite Ridge Greens, peace out before we're gone. Granite Ridge Greens with Frog Song. And we're going to run out of battery very soon. So that was low battery flashing. And there's, I don't know if you heard Mr. Gary. Okay, we're going to end it. We want to be able to save it with the batteries left. Peace out, Granite Ridge Greens with Frog Songs. Good night. Stay safe.